You piece of shit.
So
you
no,
absolute piece of shit.
I'm sorry. I'm
Oh
sorry.
my God.
There's another thing I want to talk to you about that now because you just told me this now.
Yeah.
I went and saw. I've been seeing some good movies lately.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna have a debate about this movie.
I think I want to only talk about The Green Knight though. You saw that in theaters.
I did see it in theaters.
Okay, weird movie.
For sure.
It's A24.
Yes, dude.
It's an A24. Okay, well,
Yes,
let's save it for the end.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, people know the videos. They've seen the last episode. Like,
I mean, maybe not, because there's going to be first-time listeners, perhaps. You never know.
Maybe.
Are we not trying to grow this? Are we not trying to make this a legitimate side hustle in which we can make passive income?
I really want
passive
income.
Passive income off of our.
This is pretty active income.
It's
not
quite
really
active.
passive
It's quite
income.
active. It's.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
also
passive for
there's no
me.
income involved, by the way. Too.
Yet.
It's just active. It's just activity. That's all this is.
People are OnlyFans if you want to make it incomeable.
Oh yeah, OnlyFans. That's what are we gonna set up an OnlyFans?
OnlyFans is also moving back to sexually explicit content,
which is fine.
Only sexual explicit?
No, like they just reversed their decision to.
Yeah, because they realized they were gonna lose a ton of money.
I mean, that makes a lot of sense.
Okay, what did you think about The Green Knight? So you saw it in theaters. Are you familiar with A24? Like, do you like A24 movies?
Some of them, yeah.
Like you like Uncut Gems and shit?
I like the Uncut Gems.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But those kind of like more indie.
You see The Lighthouse?
No.
You should watch The Lighthouse if you like it. It's a good movie too. So what did you think about The Green Knight?
What I think? I felt confused.
I have a funny story too about this. I've also got the worst story ever. So.
But fuck my thoughts on the matter.
No. Sorry, I was because you're saying you're confused. Like it ties in directly to.
I'm
that.
confused. I don't know, man. I walked out of there being like, I really thought that this would be more
fantasy.
Yeah,
like fun action-y kind of fantasy.
Yeah, just like more straightforward. I wasn't expecting like super artsy, so I wasn't in that like
very like metaphorical.
Very metaphorical. So I wasn't in that like
interesting
state of mind to just like unpack this entire movie. So I'm like, hold on, I'm just like, when are we gonna see a sword fight?
So just like for context, for people who haven't seen this movie, because it was in theaters, but I think it's like probably just about out of theaters now. And by the time this episode goes up, it almost definitely will be. But basically, it's a fantasy. It's like a fantasy movie. It's sort of like a fable movie. Like it's like the telling of a fable in film form. So it's not really like a normal style of storytelling in terms of what you get in like fantasy stuff. So like right away you get all these like really like cinematic looking shots. It's really like what A24 would do with a
fable,
with a fantasy movie. And I thought it was cool. It's definitely confusing. I think I kind of understand it better after like reading about it. And I thought overall it was like a pleasant movie to watch. It's a little slow. It's very slow paced for a fantasy movie too. That's like I think. So here's the story. In the theater, like. It was very obvious that the people in my theater hated it, like absolutely hated it, because like there's kind of like there's almost like a really troll ending to it, and it's a very troll ending, and it's like it's funny because like when it happens very abruptly, and then like the theater lights just came on, and it was just crickets, like absolute crickets in the theater. Everyone just no one was moving because they're like. What? Wait, was that it? Is that it? Is that actually it?
Is that how it ends?
And then the guy right behind us was literally just like, he's like, I don't know what the fuck that was, but that's 2 hours I'm never getting back. Like it was so mad. I was like, I thought it was kind of cool. I don't know.
How mad do you have to be at a movie to like was it a pretty packed theater? Because when I went,
no, it was.
I was like
a
matinee.
It was
like
It's also
same
like
here.
with COVID and stuff. There's different capacities, but it was. I don't know. I thought there's some interesting stuff to it. I'm sure lots of people haven't seen it, so we won't have to dig into it. But I was just curious what you thought because. I really wanted to just tell you how the people in the theater thought.
Oh, dude, that's so funny that they like because I
definitely
they
hated it. Like I could just tell everyone was so pissed. It was funny.
Well, it's kind of on them too because like
I didn't even want to say anything. I was worried that if I said anything good about it, I was gonna get beat up.
Cut me off one more time and see what happens, Mr. Mustache.
I'm sorry.
One more time.
I'm sorry. I'm just excited.
No. I know, but like I think it's also probably on like the movie because when you watch the friggin' trailer, it's just like it's the dude from Slumdog Millionaire. That guy's Dev Patel. Yeah, and like it looks, as you said, well shot. So it looks like it's gonna be like a normal.
I thought he was good in it too.
I would agree, but it's like it's just like the trailer sets up your expectations in a way that like is not how the movie plays out. I remember when I saw the trailer, I was like, oh shit, this looks like kind of dark and fucking spooky and like just like a different kind of vibe to it. And then it's like in there, it's like.
Yeah,
What
the
is going on?
The trailer is definitely a little misleading.
Definitely misleading.
It makes it seem like it's being a very clear like plot
line.
and
It's
not
not.
like that. But you know what? For what it's worth, go check it out. If you're into like A24 and like more artsy movies,
Super
just, check
artsy
it out.
movie.
It's cool. It's cool stuff.
I got a question for you though. As a
Okay, and I
spoiler
want to tell you
about
just
the movie.
I want to
and
tell
then we're
you
gonna
the worst story ever too.
Okay.
Very quickly. It's like the dumbest story
So
ever. but
my
you're
question
gonna hate
first,
it.
or your story?
You go first.
Okay, good. Because
Yeah.
You cut him off again.
I just want to make sure I'm
just
putting a pin
wanna-
in it because I don't want to forget. I will forget about it. It's so bad. It's such a bad story that like I'll literally forget about it.
right here, pin.
'Kay.
Bad story.
Okay, go for it.
The big giants. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
What did that represent? I was like,
I think that's
the
just, like,
most
cool-
confused about that. I was like, what is this a metaphor for? Why are these giants naked and they just like friendly? What is their purpose in this shot here?
I think it was honestly just like it was just world building stuff. It's just like hey, guess what? In this big world thing that's going on here, there's giants also. You know, it was kind of one of those things. It was more sort of like a visual. I could be wrong on that, but
They
that's sort of
look
how
like-
I took it. It was just like, oh, this is just extra depth. You know, world building.
Got it. So again, of those 2 hours, just 2 minutes of just time wasted. Just like
Well,
Look
you
at these
consider that a
big-ass
waste.
giants.
That's world building. 2 minutes of very rich world building.
the world was built. I know magic exists in the world. We got talking. Fuck.
But did you know big naked
Spoilers.
giants existed?
But were
No,
they naked?
you didn't.
Were they naked or were they Ken and Barbie dolls? Riddle me that.
Or
Yeah.
were they from Attack on Titan?
That was my
Yeah,
other
they
thing that
don't
I
look
wanted.
as scary, but yeah. Okay, can I tell this story? It's such a dumb story. Honestly, this is gonna be the worst intro we've ever had because of this
What?
story. We were driving home from the Green Knight. This all ties back full circle. We were driving home from the Green Knight after and we're just like discussing this movie. Me and Veronica and I, right? We're discussing it, trying to like make sense of some stuff and decide whether or not we thought it was cool or really annoying. You know, that kind of situation.
What side was Cheeb on? Was she on mine or yours?
She said found it kind of boring, I think, more, but she said it was also cool, like visually and stuff. There's some really good cinematography in it that she liked. So,
Just goes to show.
so we're driving home. All of a sudden, we're just driving. It's like obviously, I think it was like a Friday night, but it's pretty late at this point. So and no one's out anymore. Like no one goes out anymore. You know, it's always like pretty quiet around
Touche.
our neighborhoods and stuff. We're driving home on a road. I'm not gonna say a road 'cause no one will care.
I was like, you're gonna say which road we're
And we
going
just
down?
see, like, off in the distance, we can see, like, it looks like a car is pulled over by a police
Yeah.
officer, right? Like, you can see the red and blue lights pretty far down. We're driving, it's going the other direction, like, split road and everything, so it doesn't really matter. But we're, like, driving towards it. And all of a sudden, like, this truck right in front of us, while we're driving, just, like, slams on the brakes,
Brake
parks, and then throws on its hazards. And then we're like, oh shit, like that's weird. Like we're about to go around, and all of a sudden you see like the cars on the left of us and right of us also do the same thing. Like everyone is just stopping.
What?
And there's like out of nowhere, like there's no cars on this road, and then out of nowhere there's like just like a 25 car pile up, just backs all the way up, just out of nowhere. And we're like near the front of it. No clue what's going on.
Was this like a car flash mob? And then the,
No.
the vehicle
This is
equivalent of
like-
flash mob?
I'm telling you, like this is like the most confused I've been while we in a vehicle ever. Like we're just stopped in the middle of the road, and it's very unclear why, because we cannot see anything. Like we can't see anything in front of us on the road. It didn't look like there was no car accident. We can see like a few cars pulled up ahead.
Yeah.
And then there's like people walking on the road, and the police are also walking on the road. That's like kind of like the only thing we can sort of see. It's like, what the fuck's going on? And it was one of these moments where I just like, it was nighttime, wasn't prepared for it, so I'm just like rubbernecking, just looking every direction, like trying to figure out what's going on. We're literally looking everywhere, trying to figure out what's going on. All of a sudden, a cop car pulls up behind us and does like this weird thing where it's like instead of like just pulling up and parking, it like turns diagonal, but like somehow right behind us. Like, okay, like what the hell? Like what the hell's going on? And then the cop gets out and then like is like walking. This lady's like walking pretty quick past our vehicle, goes past our vehicle like a foot, and then like stops on a dime, comes back to our window,
Heel turns on you,
and like gives us like the roll down your window. We're like, what the fuck's going on? What is this? And then she just says. This is so frustrating because like I was like man like literally what is going on, like this is a very
So
bizarre
confused.
it was very confusing and like just spending so much time trying to figure it out. Roll down the window and the cop just says like I can't remember exactly what she said. I'm pretty sure she said like, did you guys witness anything? I wasn't, it was like unclear if she was like trying to get a rundown of what's going on or if like we were going to be in trouble if we witnessed something. Like it was so unclear. I'm just like, no, we just stopped here. You know, like Veronica just like, we just stopped here. We have no clue what's going on. She's like, okay, you guys can just drive around. I was like,
What is going on?
And then so we drive around and like guess what we saw? Guess what we saw?
a naked man walking across the road.
No, we saw literally nothing, and I
Oh.
still have no idea. That's why it's a bad story. I literally have no idea what happened.
I
It was the
hated that
most
story.
frustrating, and I hope it's frustrating for you. I hope everyone's frustrated now. Told you all of that just to let you know that I left being like, I don't know what the fuck was going on, and I really, really want to know. It literally sat with me for days. I'm like, what the hell was actually going on?
In
There was police
short,
on the road, like it was just weird. So anyway, sorry to frustrate everyone.
in short, if you want to know what that feels like to just be very confused and not really know what's going on, go watch The Green Knight. You'll have that same
Yeah,
feeling.
there you go. I was
for
back
the
to back
following 4
confusion.
days.
I was like,
See?
can anything in life make
Closure.
sense anymore? Does anything even make sense?
Is there a plot to anything?
Yeah.